They're mowing the lawn, which means you can hear it. My sincerest apologies. Welcome back to Ever Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess, and I'm watching Ever Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is a 2011 theatrical release about Captain Jack Sparrow getting entangled in bringing a bunch of people to the Fountain of Youth. It is directed by Rob Marshall, cinematography by Dariusz Wolski, editing by David Brenner and Wyatt Smith, music by Hans Zimmer, and it's written by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio. The film stars Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, Penelope Cruz as Angelica, Geoffrey Rush as Barbossa, Ian McShane as Blackbeard, and Kevin McNally as Gibbs. Bruckheimer had said that the Pirates trilogy had come to an end, but they'd be interested in doing a spin-off series, and when the third one did well, they decided to move forward with this one. Verbinski was busy, so Bruckheimer suggested Rob Marshall, and he accepted. Dick Cook ended up resigning from Disney, which shook Johnny Depp to his core, and he was a little bit like, oh gosh, what are we gonna do? Elliott and Rossio are adamant that this is inspired by On Stranger Tides and is not an adaptation. They brought back Jack and Gibbs and Barbossa, but they didn't bring back all of those whose storylines had finished or those who had died, i.e., they didn't bring back Will and Elizabeth because their storyline was done. For the mermaid casting call, it was required that the women auditioning had real breasts because there were no fake breasts in the 1700s. Or, excuse me, natural breasts is what it says here, so that's a big old yikes. They filmed in Hawaii, California, Puerto Rico, and the UK. They filmed in 3D for immersive fighting experience. There were 1,112 shots with visual effects done by 10 different visual effects companies. Marshall would watch edited sequences while on set between things because they were trying to cut down on time to save costs as much as possible. The film had a $410.6 million budget and made $1.046 billion in the box office. It has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes consensus. It's shorter and leaner than the previous sequel, but this pirates run aground on a disjointed plot and a non-stop barrage of noisy action sequences. Roger Ebert said, it's too much of a muchness, which I thought was genuinely funny. There was a sequel planned, and it eventually did get released, Dead Men Tell No Tales, in 2017. Breathtaking, as you'd expect. Beautiful to look at. I really have nothing to say about the visuals. The visuals were... It's too long, I know. I'm sure you were expecting me to say that. It's shorter, I guess, than the last one. Which I believe. The last one was very long. But it still feels atrociously long. The action sequences in the first half of this movie feel like they take an eternity to finish. Especially, like, right at the beginning, Jack getting away from the king. That goes on for an obscene amount of time. Like, I was like, okay, we get it. He's escaped from the king. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I get that we're having all these fun things with Jack, like, riding on top of these carriages and, like, stealing the coal cart and it lights on fire and, like, him walking on, like, these boards between all these people carrying things and, like, all that kind of stuff. I get it. It's cool. It's fun. But it goes on way too long. Way too long. And then there's a couple other sequences that are, like, way too long. When, like, the sword fight between him and Penelope Cruz, when he, like, as she's posing as Jack Sparrow, that takes way too long. And then the fight immediately following that scene is too long. It's just so many of the action sequences are too much. Not to quote Roger Ebert, but too much of a muchness. So this is weaker than the previous films, for sure. I feel like the first one especially has this, like, heart in it where Will is, like, a really good guy and Elizabeth wants adventure. You know what I mean? Like, there's an innocence and a heart in it that's really sweet, and then Jack, while, like, being a pirate, is still a good guy. So, like, you have all that going for it. Where this, you know, we don't have a Will or Elizabeth. We only have Jack, which, like, Jack is the good one. But in this, I guess, I feel like Jack very much got roped into helping all these people go to the Fountain of Youth. Barbossa is working for the king and really just wants revenge on Blackbeard. Blackbeard wants to save his own life because there's a prophecy he's going to die at the hand of a single-legged man. Penelope Cruz, Angelica, wants to save Blackbeard because it's her dad, I guess. And I think they try to get you with the heart of that, but it just really doesn't register because Blackbeard is a tool bag. And then you've got the mermaid, and whatever his name is. I don't remember his name. You've got that storyline, but it is so, like, swept to the side as a storyline that, like, it has no real bearing on the actual plot. Other than, like, she brings the goblets back to Jack and says, "Don't waste my tear." So, like, I don't know. And I just, like, I don't care. Like, I didn't care about what any of the outcomes were. Like, if Blackbeard survived, that'd be stupid, because Blackbeard was definitely, like, not nice. But if Barbossa had drank from the fountain, that would have been stupid. And then, like, you don't want Jack to drink from the fountain, right? Because he's, like, the good guy. And when he found out, like, I liked his reaction when he found out that it was, you take the years from someone else. He was like, oh, well, now I don't really want it. Like, before when it was like, oh, the fountain of youth, you could drink and live forever, he was like, oh, right on. But when he found out it was taking the years from someone else, he was like, I'm significantly less interested. Like, he says something along that line. And then Angelica, I don't get it. I genuinely don't. I don't understand. Like, I get that it's her dad, but she didn't know him her whole life, and now she's, like, willing to sacrifice herself for him? I mean, I guess, okay. Whatever. That's your prerogative, but classic bait and switch Jack moment where he switched the goblets on accident. You know, so, like, that's all good. So it's fun. It has a lot of cool and fun moments, but it is so just not on par with Pearl and I'd say Dead Man's Chest. At World's End is a little, but Crystal Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest are solid, and this is definitely not on par with those. My favorite part, I don't know, maybe Jack being Jack, or that guy saving the mermaid, because she didn't deserve any of that, but also, like, whatever. It didn't have an effect on anything, I feel like. Least favorite part, the super long sequences, especially in the beginning. The last third of the movie kind of flew, but oh man, that first half was rough. Recommend? Sure. Watch again? Maybe, but, like, again, I've said this every time. If I'm going to watch a pirate movie, it's going to be Curse of the Black Pearl, and I probably won't go past that. And that's just how it is. Specific moments. The Blackbeard dying scene was gross. They, like, ripped off all his skin and then muscle and then blood and, like, stuff. That was nasty. Jack is great. Always. All the double crossing is, like, super iconic pirate, you know? Especially from these movies. Fun, slow, all that good stuff. That's it. Alrighty, that's it. My final rating is 7 goblets out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our parent death toll is. Cry count is still the same. If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials to find out movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early, a coupon code for merch, and exclusive merch access. Tiers above that, daily trivia, monthly postcards, merch, etc., etc. Get out. Go look. Buy merch. You can't buy this anymore. This was limited edition for $500, but there's a lot of other merch you can choose from. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you, and don't be Blackbeard about it.
I turn that, and I have a new one for you.
Oh, this? Okay. There she blows. Oh, I moved out of focus. Oh no. There we go. That, my friends, is a gray hair. Also, I forgot that Blackbeard was Angelica's dad for real. So that does count as a parent death. So that's what my face was. Just that.